In our series, Rebuilding America, we show how people and communities are working together to build a better world. This morning, we're focusing on communities fighting food waste. Why? Because around 1/3 of food in the U.S. is never eaten. Most ends up in landfills where it generates the potent greenhouse gas, methane. But cities across the country are now turning to compost programs to put that waste to work for the environment. Lilia Luciano met up with one convert on a mission to make composting cool, even in unexpected places, starting with the communities that raised him.
That's good.
Growing up in New York City's public housing, Domingo Morales was more focused on his personal sustainability than that of the environment.
I was in and out of foster care. It was just about, making money, how to get the next job.
But his perspective turned around when he took a job composting on a community farm in Brooklyn.
We went 3 times a week to shovel. And then a couple months after, we were sifting finished compost, and they allowed us to apply finished compost to the farm. And I'm like, whoa, you can recycle food waste.
That aha moment for Morales prompted him to get his hands dirty and gain a better understanding of the art of composting.
That's good.
The nutrient-rich combination of food scraps and yard waste is like a meal for garden soil, which then feeds and nourishes plants. It also reduces methane emissions by keeping food out of landfills.
So you were kind of moving dirt, not sure what you were doing, and suddenly you were able to see the connection from that pile to here, to the farm.
It just made sense to me. It clicked. It's like recycling plastic, I still don't get it. Recycling metal, I still don't get it. I know what happens with compost.
Morales teamed up with the nonprofit Green City Force and the New York City Housing Authority to form Compost Power, an initiative building up composting efforts in public housing communities.
Once a week, we'll come and we'll actually aerate this pile.
His human-powered system requires several people to turn piles of waste in 3 different stages of decomposition. It is physical work, but you won't hear any complaints from his team.
It was basically like a workout session for me.
I'm trying to show that small-scale composting can change behavior, but on top of that, I'm trying to show that it's possible in the communities that historically people said it wasn't.
Compost Power isn't alone in its mission. New York City has earmarked $2.7 million to roll out compost collection bins throughout the borough of Queens.
I love that I don't have to buy a lot of trash bags anymore.
So residents like Jasmine McPherson can put food and yard waste out with their trash and recycling.
Once you start properly throwing away your waste, you'll see a reduction in how much money you consciously spend because you're seeing what you're throwing away, what you're not eating.
Back in Brooklyn, Morales is busy feeding a balanced diet to his miniature special agents, fungi, bacteria, and insects, which he calls the FBI. It's 1 part nitrogen-packed greens from food scraps and 3 parts carbon-heavy materials.
So we got wood chips here.
The whole process takes up to 6 weeks.
Sifting table is basically where you finalize the compost.
And the finished compost then feeds the vibrant farm in the heart of this community.
Compost is a big, important part for what we do. We need them more than they need us.
What grows there is free for residents.
At one farm stand, we had cucumbers that were longer than 12 inches, oversized red radishes, the eggplants, they were gigantic.
And they bring their food scraps in exchange, which along with the farm waste replenishes the compost pile.
If we can show that in a large community like this, we can make it a culture, no one has an excuse.
He says if you can compost here, you can compost anywhere. For CBS Mornings, Lilia Luciano, New York.